Alright, this one's a little bit different for y'all. Not sure how many DIYers it will help, but maybe a few. Some of y'all might tinker with stuff like this, not sure, but got this truck in here. Needs a fuel pump. It's also got some misfires. And we know it's not related to fuel because we know that we're running proper fuel pressure while the vehicle is running. Our problem with the pump is the check valve. We have fuel leaking back into the tank after the key is off. So we know we got a little something more going on there. And this is just going to show you how we use tuning software to even just help us do diag. And a couple other cool stuff you can do with the software. First thing you're going to want to do anytime you're doing anything related to the PCM at all is make sure that you have a good battery. Now, not only should you make sure you have a good battery, but you should hook your battery up to a power source just to make sure that we constantly have power going to the truck. We do not want anything to glitch once we write. If we change anything in the software and rewrite it, we do not want any type of glitches. Watching live data is not that big of a deal. Shit can happen, but yeah, so let's get rocking and rolling. So we're gonna grab our interface and laptop here. So we're gonna locate our OBD port, which is gonna be right here in this Tahoe. All right, I'm gonna crank the vehicle. All right. So we're gonna open up our software and open up our VCM scanner. Now once we are in here, you can add your channels, any type of information you want to monitor, you can add it over here, and then you will be able to monitor it right here once you start recording your data log. So we're gonna hit record. It is gonna connect to my interface, gather all the information from the vehicle. And then we are now watching data. So here's our misfire counter. Number 3. Can you see that right there? I'm gonna highlight it. So cylinder 3 has a misfire. The counter's picked up 6 hits. Don't know if it's enough to have triggered the light, but we will read codes. Alright, good deal. Alright, so our number 3 cylinder has some type of issue. Obviously, we are reading that. Now we're going to take the vehicle, put our foot on the brake, and we're going to put her in reverse. So it's under a little bit of a load. And see if we get any more on our counter. We'll do the same thing with drive. Just number 3. So we know it's not fuel related. We can shut her down. And now our next step would be to check number 3. See what's going on. Check the plug, check the coil, make sure everything checks out. And that's what I'm fixing to do next. So hang tight. Right, so we're going to do the entire breakdown of this process. This is a pretty simple problem, more than likely. So you wouldn't need to exactly do it like this on this one, but this is just an example to show you guys kind of how we go about diagnosing things and checking over all this information. So here we go. I'll show you how it all works. So we're back from watching our live data on our truck. So next step for me here is I'm going to log in to Pro Demand, and I'm just going to throw in my vehicle information, which is a 07 Chevy Tahoe. Mine's a VIN 053, 4-wheel drive. use this vehicle. So here, we're just gonna put in the code for a misfire on cylinder 3. The P0303. So this is gonna tell us, here are some real fixes. We could check out what other people have done. Replaced ignition coil, replaced plug, replaced fuel injector, replaced plug, wire. So we can actually see top repair ratings. So this graph will show you how many different times it's been these problems for other technicians. So 64 of the time, it ended up just being a plug. 34 times it ended up being a wire, etc., etc. So now if we want any diagnostics information, we can click on OEM test procedures. And this is just going to outline exactly how to diag that particular code. So you can go over all this stuff, wiring diagrams, harness, etc. We know what number cylinder 3 is, but if we want to double check, we're just going to type in fire order, and we will pull up our firing order, which is right here. So number 3 is going to be on driver's side, second one back, which looks like it'll be this guy right here. So I'm going to check this coil for spark, and I will show you how to do that. Alright guys, we're going to show you how to perform a simple spark test on your vehicle with a very simple, cheap tool. We've identified which cylinder we want to look at, and this is the tool we'll be using. It is a spark tester available at any local auto parts store, and it's probably 10 bucks. So we're going to go over to our vehicle, locate our correct cylinder. I've already pulled my wire off, which I know some of y'all might be cheating, but I'll show you how to do it. So, you know, you're gonna grab a hold of her, make sure it's cool so you can grab this metal part, because they're hard to get off. You're gonna wanna give it a good yank to get it off there, wiggle it, jiggle it. Once you're out, it'll look like this. So then we are going to take our spark tester and take our metal end, and we will put it inside of our spark plug wire, like so. That's what we got. Now we're gonna wanna crank the vehicle. Try not to touch the vehicle so you don't get grounded out. Hard to see. Let me get this light out of here. There we go. So we have spark on cylinder 3. So next thing we're gonna do is just kind of get an idea for a known good cylinder and how the spark looks on that one. So I'm gonna plug 3 back in, and I'm gonna opt to grab 1, wiggle it, jiggle it, pull it out, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on cylinder 1. I just kind of want to see if there's a difference in how our spark looks from 1 to 3. You see it right in front of your face. Number 1, our known good coil is sparking much harder than our number 3 coil. So, long story short, we have just confirmed that the truck needs a number 3 ignition coil. Though we have absolutely no check engine light for a number 3 miss. We've just identified all this by watching live data and realizing that the truck was running a little bit funny. So we're gonna put a coil in it and that should fix our issue. There you go, guys. Now, if it was not the coil, you would continue to go down your list of components there. Injectors, wire, whatever it might be. And trace it from there. But that's how you test your spark. And quick little last tidbit in too, because if you want to be sure without a reasonable doubt here, you go one extra mile. So I've taken the spark plug wire off of number 1, the known good wire, known good coil, and I've moved that wire to the number 3 spot, and we are going to test spark again to see if it is the wire that is faulty or the coil. More than likely the coil is just not working good anymore, but actually looks pretty good, so we might have spoke too soon. Might just have a spark plug wire issue going on here, folks. We'll see. Plug in 3 and hit back to 1. Now, if one's firing light, we know just the wire. That spark coming off of number 1 is much stronger, no matter what. So we're gonna put a coil on number 3 and see what that does for it. And so, while digging through my hoard of parts, I came across a ignition coil. It pays to be a hoarder sometimes. So we're gonna swap the coil and plug her back in, see if that takes care of the issue. So again, identify which cylinder it is. We're gonna pop our plug wire off, and then we have a connector here with a tab. Now you just lift this tab and push up and out. Connector is out. We're gonna come over here to our box, grab a way too deep 10, and buzz these 10s off real quick. 2 10mm bolts. 1, 2. Put our tool down. Lift our coil up and out of here. Make sure we don't drop our bolts. There she is. And set up our new one. Like so. And we're just gonna drop her back in the bracket. Get that started. Flip our ratchet around. Tighten her down. Gotta put our plug back in here. Make sure she clicks. And our spark plug wire. And we will unhook our test and hook number 1 back up. I cut y'all off there. And hook up cylinder 1 here. Now I know a lot of you are probably gonna ask me why I didn't check plugs, but I had just put plugs in this truck not that long ago, so I knew I knew better. That's it. You have success. Right, here we go. We're logged back in. We are running. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All checking out. And she is running much better. So, we just diagnosed and fixed an ignition coil. Thanks for watching. A little late now, but it just dawned on me that I only had cylinders 1 through 6 data in my log, and I wasn't even logging 7 or 8 when I made the video. I realized after I'd edited the video and looked at it and went back in, plugged everything back up, and confirmed that we didn't have any issues on 7 and 8 either. But just goes to show you that sometimes you can be an idiot, and I was. So